Welcome back to the Destination Saratoga All Access Podcast. I'm your host, Mackenzie, and today we're coming to you from 78 Church Street Condominiums, which is currently under construction. We are sitting in the beautiful Model 205, which is now being shown by Julie & Co. Realty. If you're interested, you can reach out to Julie Bonaccio. Today, I'm here with 5 of the agents at Julie & Co. Realty, and we're going to talk a little bit about what they do, what they sell, their expertise, and what it's like being a realtor in Saratoga County. Now let's get into it.
Welcome to the Destination Saratoga All Access Podcast, brought to you by Discover Saratoga. Here is your host, Mackenzie Zarzicki.
This podcast takes you behind the scenes with the people shaping Saratoga County's vibrant culture, rich history, and thriving community. So let's start with some introductions.
Yeah, Mackenzie, thanks for having us. My name's Charlie Goodridge. I've been with Julie & Co. for 3 years now. I've been in the business for 20 years. And the one fun fact about me, it's not incredibly fun, but I love skiing, and finally got new skis, and I'm heading out west this winter.
I love that. Sheila?
I'm Sheila Sperling. I've been with Julie & Co. for 5 years. Fun fact about me, 2, is I have 22-year-old triplets, and I started playing polo when I was in my 40s.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Lars Huskwadzinski with Julie & Co. since shortly after its inception, about 10 years ago, I think. Been in real estate about 12 years. Absolutely love working with all these people here. Fun fact about me, I'm busy with children just like everybody else, and I love living in this town.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, Joanne Petruski Cassidy. I have been doing real estate for 18 years now somehow, and I was one of the original people at Julie & Co. Fun fact, my gosh, between kids and houses, I want to flip more houses. It's just going to have to be after the children get finished with college.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lisa McTighe, and I've been with Julie & Co. for 6 years, doing real estate for 20. I am a true born and raised Saratogian. A fun fact is I'm an equine property expert in the Capital District. My primary bread and butter is selling residential resales, but I am one of the go-to equine property experts and love being on the farms.
I love that.
And Lisa, what about your riding?
Oh yeah, I've been riding for 53 years, and I still show and ride Morgan horses. It's a huge part of my life.
That's amazing.
Again, I could talk about that for hours too.
Oh, that's amazing. We're going to jump around a little bit. Lars, what do you love most about helping your clients buy or sell homes in Saratoga County?
Sure, yeah. Well, it's a primary investment for most people for their life. It's a really important decision. It's a very emotional decision. And I love that journey with everybody that I take it with. It's exciting. A lot of my clients at this point are purchasing second, third properties. And it's one of the great ways to get ahead, in life. And it's a really important step or steps to take. And I love being trusted enough to take those steps with people.
I love that. That's a great answer. Charlie, what is your favorite part about working with clients?
My favorite part about working with clients really is getting to know them. I get a lot of energy from just meeting new people and helping them through the process of selling real estate. I always tell buyers when they come and meet me for the first time, they always come with a very specific square in mind of what they want.
Yeah.
And at the end of that conversation, I remind them that at the end of this process, your square is going to turn into an egg because you're going to shave off all those different corners because you're going to have to compromise finding what you want in this town.
I think that's a great analogy.
Yep.
And you definitely are all very outgoing. I can feel it in your personalities. And I think that's key to being a real estate agent, is having that friendly, welcoming conversation with people because, like you said, buying a home is a huge decision and they're trusting you. So Joanne, 18 years experience. Why should someone trust you to buy or sell their house?
I mean, 18 years. This is the one thing I have done for 18 years. Besides being a parent, this is the one thing. Why should they trust me? I stay on top of this market day in and day out. I don't think there's a day that I don't read an article about real estate or take a look at the MLS or, hourly think about something that comes to real estate. I'm born and raised here, so I remember what Saratoga looked like almost 50 years ago compared to now. So I bring a wealth of knowledge with that, with just sort of the history, and I also do a lot of commercial real estate. So not only do I look at your primary house, if you're buying a residential house, as that, I look at it as an investment. I look at it and pick it apart as, hey, this is part of your portfolio. This is part of what is going to be your financial future. So I help them make this smart decision that way as well.
I love that. So we talked a little bit about Saratoga's changing landscape, and one of my favorite things is that a lot of the historic part of Saratoga has remained the same. And Sheila, I know you have some historic properties. So can you talk a little bit about the preservation of Saratoga and how we have this unique combination of very modern and historic homes and properties?
Absolutely. I'm the vice president of the preservation board. This is why people come to Saratoga, is because of the old homes, and they love to see the architecture and everything. So it's a dynamic, because we have to maintain the old and still progress. I grew up on Broadway, and we could there was no commerce, so it's very important that we keep moving forward yet still maintain and make sure that we preserve the past.
Absolutely.
You did a great job with 65 Flyout Street too.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
That was one. The Preservation Foundation bought it was on 65 Phyla. It was the first time they've purchased a building to save it. And Julie and Co. We marketed it and sold it, and it just closed last month.
That's
and
awesome.
Sheila did a fabulous job with that. Yeah.
A great buyer.
Yay. That's awesome. Lisa, for buyers coming to Saratoga for the first time, what do you think makes our city so special compared to other markets?
Being raised here, there's so much here to offer. It's one of the destination of choice communities in the country for its uniqueness and its characteristics and the charm of Broadway and downtown and all the festivals we have. We have like 7 museums. I love it when new people come to town because I feel like they're tour guide and I'm driving by things and they must think I'm nuts because I'm like, that's that and that's that and that's that. But I want them to take in all the excitement, like the carousel in Congress Park.
Yeah.
How many communities have that? And the museums and SPAC, Performing Arts Center, and the state park, and the
Racetrack.
the 2 racetracks, the casino, the farmers market. I mean, it goes on and on.
Yes.
There's so much to share, and literally people fall in love with it. They'll come for a weekend for the races, and then it's like their yearly thing, and next thing you know, they're buying a property.
I love it.
Love my job.
Lisa mentioned the carousel, and her father was the person who really saved it.
Yeah, well, him and Teddy Butler worked really hard on that.
It's
And
gorgeous.
We did fundraising, and there's a plaque there with my dad's name on it. Yeah, it's so important that we know all these pieces, and that's what makes us special. I mean, Julie McMullen and Bonaccio did a great job of recruiting because we all have so much knowledge in our community.
I love that. What about you? What makes Saratoga so special? Why do you like bringing folks, relocating folks, or working with people in Saratoga County?
So I moved up from the Tri-City area, New Jersey, when I moved here 20 years ago. And admittedly, I was like, wow, this town's pretty small, you know?
Says the New Jersey guy.
Says a New Jersey guy, right? I was ready for something a little different than what I moved to. But I've been here longer than anywhere else that I've ever lived and absolutely love it. Why do I love it? I love the community, the smallness of it all. I really embellish and love being in a community that is so tight-knit. The restaurants, the walkability. I've just moved downtown and love walking everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's no traffic. There's really no traffic. If you just time it right, you can get around the city.
I love that.
Yep.
We do have Belmont on Broadway coming again, and Belmont Stakes this June. It's our last June. And we're also working out the details to Saratoga New Year's Eve. So those are two big events where we shut down Broadway for a live musical act. Again, we're so fortunate to have this. You could probably walk right out of your house and be on the stage. Saratoga Arms has the best view in the house when it comes to downtown concerts.
It does, and during Belmont, they you can buy a table
Oh, I love it.
and sit on the porch.
I mean, I think we can all agree that Saratoga's been an absolute rocket ship for the last 20 years. And to your point, why is that? Main Street is one of those reasons, aside from all of the things that Lisa mentioned and Charlie mentioned. How rare is it in the Northeast that you find so many vibrant singly owned small businesses that
Exactly.
are thriving. The malls and nationwide chains, they really don't exist in this downtown. And I think it's one of the things that really harkens back to people when they get here. It feels like how it used to feel. It's got that Americana vibe. And, it's a really special place. It really is.
Speaking of the Americana vibe, I think Saratoga is the only upstate city that has a post office on the corner. It has a pharmacy on the corner. It has a bank on the corner. And it has the town hall on the corner.
I love it.
Right there.
All four corners.
All four corners, yep.
Now, here's a quick message from our sponsor. If you're ready to live in a vibrant downtown full of arts, activities, shopping, fine dining, and world-class thoroughbred racing, or you're drawn to the Adirondack Park with its lakes, trails, festivals, and restaurants, it's time to call Julie & Co. Realty, LLC, your hometown brokerage with local experts. Julie & Co. Realty, LLC gives you the insider's advantage on what's available in Saratoga Springs, the Capital Region, and the Adirondack Park. And with realtors who specialize in lakefront properties, second homes, historic homes, land and commercial listings, they have the premier agent you need to help you buy or sell with confidence. For more information, visit juliecorealty.com. What was one of your favorite properties that you've ever sold?
Oh gosh, there's so many. I have to say the one with
Masonic Temple.
the Masonic Temple.
Yeah,
so
that
on
was
North
so
Broadway, Lisa and I partnered together and sold the Masonic Temple, and the history that was in that building. Oh my goodness. And just the feeling that you would get. It was one of these big, gorgeous Victorians up on North Broadway, but it had been a Masonic temple since what, like the
60s.
60s? Okay. And they had it redone, and there was all these like secret ritual rooms and everything. We had no idea.
I know. We're like, what went on here?
Yeah,
but
woo.
all good stuff. And they
Yeah.
would have fundraisers on the porch, and the basement had different sections. Like you almost felt like the Underground Railroad went
Yeah.
through there at one time.
Absolutely.
It
That
was
is so cool.
really cool.
It was a really cool building.
That's so cool. All right, Lars, Julie & Co. Realty has built such a strong reputation for local expertise. What do you think sets your company apart from the rest?
I would say leadership and protection of brand, most importantly. And I think that Julie Benaccio, as a person, has a fantastic reputation within this city and beyond. I think she's been a great philanthropist. I think she is extraordinarily loyal to those that work with her. I think all of us can attest to that. I think it's attention to detail. I think it's bringing in the right people, Julie McMullen and other director of operations that we have, our marketing directors. We really take the time to handpick people that are going to help all of us accelerate and keep us all doing what we do best.
Being with Julie & Co., it's a it's a boutique brokerage. And I think the knowledge that each one of us has it's so unique because our roots go deep in this town, and we know from generation to generation. And even though he's a transplant, it's only 20 years in Saratoga. It's
Still a transplant. That's okay. We love it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me be here.
No, I think that's what makes us special. Anytime you deal with anything boutique-y, you get an extra special level of service.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We provide a
I
great
would
service.
just continue with that. I think it's a high level of standard that I've seen in the office that is very apparent, and the systems that the office allows us to use to treat all our clients in a manner that is fair, and the marketing is done for every property regardless of price or location, and the systems in place make sure that happens.
And I want to add on to that too, because as you talk about a boutique brokerage, you also want to make sure that our net gets cast far enough that, and no matter what size your brokerage is, everyone looks the same online. So we market to the world. You're on the internet, you're on realtor.com, all those huge websites. So our marketing, even though we're a boutique brokerage, you get that customer service where we focus on quality, not quantity, but yet you're marketed to the world as if you were listed with any other big, maybe 7-office brokerage.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, I definitely get the sense of that. You can tell that there is a higher standard when you go with Julie & Co., whether that's the trust and the relationship building, the service you get. I remember Sheila listed my house back in the day, and I was blown away with her coming into my little itty bitty townhouse. We repainted, and you brought in furniture from your house to stage it, and the photography. I was like, this is not my townhouse, like not my townhouse. And then we had an open house on Saturday, and I think we had 3 offers, and we sold it. It was a dream. For me, it couldn't have been any easier. And it feels like that's what you guys offer your clients, and I think that's so important.
I think these guys, just to add on, are very modest. They are all incredibly intelligent people that I sit with, that I work with. There's always a question that can get answered by somebody. Everybody has little niches. A lot of us overlap really well. But in this day and age, you really have to know what you're talking about. You have to put the time in, put the work in. I know all these guys have done it. That's why they're as successful as they are. You know, they really add value to people.
I love that. Thanks, Lars. I love that.
I'll pay you later.
You guys want to plug it out?
What are you drinking?
So let's talk about the current Saratoga market, right? So what's the temperature like? Post-COVID, everything skyrocketed. Nobody could find a house. People are putting in cash offers, thousands of dollars above asking. What is this game like? I mean, my adrenaline's pumping just thinking about it.
I mean, it was definitely crazy. You know, COVID hit, and about a couple months into it, people were just showing up. They were just wiring funds. Like, they were doing a FaceTime. And it kind of kept going. The momentum kept going. And at the same time, I feel like people realized how special Saratoga was, something we've all known. And it's just the word got out there.
Yeah.
And our market overall, you know, over the past 25, 30 years has always, you know, every market's had a little dip and ups and downs. However, ours has kind of kept fairly steady. You know, a lot of other markets, you know, you heard about in 2008, things like dove down and everything. That doesn't really happen here. You know, we have so much to offer. Things, you know, they will follow the national market, but they stay fairly steady.
A couple of years ago, the New York Times printed an article about downstate or New York City people moving up to Saratoga Springs.
Yeah.
Saratoga Springs, not just upstate New York, but in specific Saratoga
That's
Springs.
amazing. Lisa, do you think we have more people looking for houses than houses currently on the market here in Saratoga?
We had for a number of years, I want to say like almost 6 years or so, but it's just starting to turn. And that is because interest rates have been higher, so we had some buyers sit back a little. But I'll tell you, that market 500,000 and below is still hopping.
Okay.
If your home is in good condition and a good location, we're seeing multiple offers. That has not stopped.
That's awesome.
But the inventory for the longest time was like 2 months supply, and a normal market is a 6 month supply. So
Wow.
that's quite drastic.
That is drastic.
But it's slowly starting to come around and increase slightly. But yep, those poor buyers that are like that 400, 300 price point is very competitive.
Yes.
Lars, talk to me about interest rates.
Yeah, so obviously the higher the interest rate, the less purchase power a buyer has, right? I think one of the old standards was for every 1% an interest rate goes up, you lose 11% of your purchase power. So obviously, as rates drop, you are more competitive in markets, you're getting higher purchase power, able to buy things a little out of your reach, maybe at a 7% is more in reach at a 5.5%, right? So, and with that, obviously the economy plays in. We have to pay a lot of attention to that, especially in a second home market. This isn't exactly a second home market, but there are a lot of people here that have it as their second home. You see Florida and its ebbs and flows and stuff like that. To go back to what you said about the pandemic, it absolutely was an exodus out of metropolitan areas, and it absolutely was a migration into areas such as Saratoga, where people really said, wow, I'm now learning to work remotely, which was, not everybody was doing that then.
Yeah.
Most people were forced to do that. And then they started to value maybe quality of life over hustle and bustle and my 40-minute commute from Park Slope into Manhattan every day.
Yeah.
Hey, wow, look at this as an alternative. But like I said earlier, Saratoga's been a rocket ship for 20 years. Like Joanne said, it survived as a bubble 08, 13, 2020. It's only accelerated. The year-over-year appreciation is an unbelievable investment for just about anybody. It's hard to lose money purchasing in Saratoga.
Yeah, no, I think that's great.
Just to chime in to what Lisa was saying, she's right. The market has gone from a 2% or 2 months worth of inventory, and a balanced market is like 6 months. Today, our market's 4 months worth of inventory. And I looked at the stats this morning, and 25% of all the pendings are under contract with single-digit days on market.
Wow.
Which is still pretty impressive.
That is so impressive. What would your tips be for a buyer right now? It sounds like you have to have everything ready to go to make an offer, or you're already behind.
Call Julie & Co. That's the first thing.
Yes. Once you call Julie & Co., what are the steps to buying or selling a house? Because I'm like blown away right now. It sounds like if you don't have your mortgage company lined up and all of your pre-approvals, you can't even put an offer in because you're about to get beat out before you even started.
Right. If you're not a cash offer, you definitely have to have pre-approval. You have to have your lender all buttoned up before you even look at a house.
Yeah, we're going to have that letter in hand before we even show a home to a buyer. And I tell them to protect myself and my time, but also to protect them from falling in love with a home and then finding out they can't afford it.
Yeah.
But you have to be ready to go within 24 to 48 hours to go look at that home. I'll tell people, if this is perfect, leave work. We're going.
Oh my God.
Get out of work. We got to go look at this house.
I would also say that there's nothing like the present to start looking, because you need to be educated in the marketplace. It may take 6 months to find your home, but if you don't start, you're not going to be educated to make that multiple offer, decision to go 10,000 over, 20,000 over asking. If you don't start looking, there might be some. You have to go in, and you may lose your first one, but I can tell you that every time that my buyers have lost out 1, 2, or 3 times, their fourth home is their best home, and they wish they found it further.
Oh.
I think we all do a great job with that. It's determining strategy and managing expectations, right? And I think from the beginning, it's really important to make sure you do that with people to build that trust. So I think everybody here does a great job with that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What about building homes? Does anyone work with builders? Are people, obviously this building's under construction and there are going to be some spectacular condos right here on Church Street in Saratoga. But if you're looking to build a home in Saratoga, what is that process like?
In Saratoga proper, there are not really, there's no new developments.
In the city?
Right in the city. There's little pockets, but gone are the days where you drive in and there's
an empty lot.
and
you're like, right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a different thing. Unless you want to do that, you have to, sometimes you'd find spot lots, or sometimes there's a lot more buy a house and completely remodel it from the ground up, or even take it down. There's been a lot of that going on as well.
The surrounding area is beautiful too, though. We've talked a lot about the city, but we have Wilton, we have Schuylerville, we have Malta, Ballston Spa. All of these little suburbs are great, especially for the buyers who are probably 500 or less, right? People with kids who want yards and animals. The school districts here are all amazing. Does anyone want to talk a little bit about right outside the city and what that's like?
All of us here have worked with numerous builders throughout the years. We know the process very well. So to answer that, yes. I mean, our sister company is Bonaccio, so obviously we're born, out of a lot of that speak. So I think everybody here is very versed as far as that. And there is new construction. Again, it comes down to expectations, management. It comes down to timelines, obviously, with new builds. In the pandemic, it was very difficult.
Yeah, I bet.
It's gotten better. Supply lines have gotten better and things like that. But we walk people from point A to point Z on new construction for sure.
Let's talk listings. Do you each maybe want to talk about one listing?
I'll talk about equine properties. It's a farm in Buskirk, Cambridge School District. It's really right over the line in Cambridge. 45 acres, a 3,500 square foot restored, 1,800 home with 5 beautiful, well-maintained barns. It's so bucolic. It has apple trees on it, a spring-fed pond. There's a barn for everything, including a party space for hosting weddings.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really special, but it's out there. So your pool of buyers is much smaller. It's listed for 800, and we dropped it to 849,000, and it's so special. It has a generator, it has a little cottage. So I love showing that. We do have 2 people that are walking around talking about it and running some numbers that are interested. But I just love those properties.
Cambridge is beautiful too.
Yeah, walking and opening up all the barn doors for showings and showing the little straight stalls that the ponies used to be in. And
I love that.
Yeah,
it's not terribly far away either, and you're halfway to Manchester. So look at that. With Saratoga, you're halfway between both places.
I'd say it's probably 40 minutes to Saratoga. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, so I've got a property on North Broadway, 624 North Broadway. It's where the Unitarian Church is currently. They are moving out of town into Wilton. They're going to be building in Wilton.
Okay.
It's really a potential renovation, new build. What's interesting about the lot is that it's zoned for multiple uses. It could be a single-family home with a detached garage with living quarters. It could be condos. It could be townhomes.
Wow.
So that's what it's zoned for. We just need to find the right buyer that's willing to go through the process and be on North Broadway.
Yeah.
Listed for 1.469. Again, it's on just under 0.3 of an acre.
That's a big property.
It is big property. Yep.
Good luck.
A lot of opportunity.
Does anyone else have any listings?
I have the Horseshoe. You can't not talk about the Horseshoe Bar
and that's
Grill.
like a turnkey business. That's
Oh my
just not
gosh.
a building, right?
Right. That is, I mean, if talk about something that everybody knows about. It's like
Yes.
everyone goes to the Horseshoe after
The second summer place to be on the track, right?
Yes, it's the
After the track.
après track.
Love it.
Yes, so we have that listed. We are at 5.25 million, and it's completely turnkey. And the current owners have that place running so smoothly. There's so many just amazing things that they do to make sure it runs like, I don't even know how to say that. It runs very smoothly.
Yeah.
And it's all redone. It's on just about an acre of land, and there's room for some expansion if you wanted to do that. It has a beautiful building for off season in the winter. That is a great bar and grill. It's the perfect business. We've had a lot of interest. We're just waiting for the right buyer to come in and finalize everything.
That's so cool. I've been going to Horseshoe for 15 years, and it has evolved. It is nicer. It is spacious.
Oh my gosh.
And the line to get in there in the summer is like,
it's insane. That's why I'm like, we're putting our sign right here,
right?
Charlie.
Yeah, I love this.
It's the Studio 54 of Saratoga.
Absolutely. I love that saying too. I'm going to steal that.
Okay. I'll let you
Good
have
luck
it.
to you. I hope you guys get a buyer soon, because before we know it, track season will be here again.
Yeah.
And we need our Horseshoe.
Yeah, Belmont.
Exactly. And
Belmont
really,
will be
he's going to keep it running. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, I can do this again and again. He's, but he's
love
just
that.
going to keep making it better and better.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I guess we could talk about, just a shot for some investors, 3-unit I have on 135 Maple.
Ooh.
Right next to High Rock Park. That's
Love
a good
it.
one. I have a few multifamilies around, again, for investments, people that are looking for that passive income. That's a 3. It's beautiful. All new mechanicals, 42-inch cabinetry, ceramic tile, hardwood, and it's right on the park.
Yeah.
You can walk down the steps from Old Bryan Inn, and you're at the farmers market. It's a fantastic spot. I think that's just over $1 million, and there's others. We constantly have them, so there's lots of good investment opportunities
Absolutely.
too for people that are outside the area that just want to foot in, or maybe they want a unit for themselves and rent others.
Yeah.
There's lots of combos.
I'm glad you mentioned that. We talk a lot about hidden gems here in Saratoga, and High Rock Park is quite the hidden gem between the farmers market, the O'Brien Inn. I don't know if you guys saw the article in Saratoga Living, but it is a haunted establishment.
Oh yes.
We have, what else is over there? The spring is over in the corner there, the mineral spring, which is one of our 20 plus mineral springs here in Saratoga. So that's spectacular. We have many options here in Saratoga, whether you want a high rise, a historic house, a condo, an apartment. We got it.
Yeah, that High Rock
for
is
everybody.
really cool. Quick historical fun fact on that is that used to be caves. So that's why the Old Bryan Inn was there. That was the high ground. George Washington visited there. Those were open caves, and Native Americans would store goods and things inside those caves.
Wow.
Those caves actually run all the way under Broadway. And when I first moved here 25 years ago, I knew an old timer, and he used to tell me that way back in the day, they would tie string and they would climb through the caves all the way under Broadway and use the string to find their way back out. It's long since filled in, but in that embankment there, that was entrances and caves. Where
That
the
is so
springs
cool.
were.
I never knew that.
Yeah,
I never knew
all
that either.
catacombs underneath. That's why what is now Cooperstown Brewery, that was Brugger's Bagels once upon a time.
Yes, I remember that.
And they
Oh my
wanted to
God,
go
that's back
up,
when I was in
as
high
everybody does in Saratoga, and they had to cordial down. It's only 9 feet, and then there's a 60-foot void right there.
Wow.
Like a giant part of the cave is right there. Yeah.
That is wild.
It's all catacombed out under there.
Look
Yeah.
at that history lesson.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we don't have underground tunnel systems.
Some of the buildings on Broadway
think
have
the Adelphi
connections
had
into
something,
that.
right?
Yeah,
They
where
did
they
a-
would hide the booze in the Prohibition era
What about the
in
booze?
those caves. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a thing.
Lars, I want to go on a walking tour with you.
I love the history of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
And we
great.
have a lot of it.
Buying or selling a home can be very emotional. Tell us about your most memorable real estate experience.
I had a time where the wife of the couple that were selling the home at the closing, the wife cried through the entire closing. She had raised her kids in the home, and it was just tearing her heart out that she was not going to be able to go back to that home again. And it was so, I have never had that happen before. I felt awful for her, but it was just a reminder of how emotional doing this for a lot of people. And then the other thing is, and I've had this happen quite a few times, where it's maybe a single person that went through a divorce and now they're a couple years later coming out of it and buying their home, and I'm helping them, give them hope for their future. And I really can relate to that, and it's so nice to be able to help people start over or start for their life and their future with their first home. And
What was your experience, Sheila?
So I had, this was last year, a client who unfortunately lost her husband, brain cancer. They had two kids in middle school, and she wanted to give the kids some sort of normalcy back. And she said, Sheila, I need to just get away from Saratoga. I need to have a place. She wasn't really, she didn't really care. She wanted to be on a lake. She wanted to be on water. She didn't care if it was river or a lake, actually. And her only request is that it had to be flat, right? There couldn't be a road in front of the house, and it had to be a flat land. So we, okay, so there's a lot of little lakes around here. And so we looked and looked and looked, and we went to a couple open houses up north, out west, everywhere. And out in Argyle, this house came available. We went and looked at it, and she absolutely fell in love with it. The next door neighbor came out, and I just was like, hey, do you know anything about this house? And she was crying, and she said, it's my house. My grandfather built this, and my parents, my kids don't want it. My husband's no longer here. I can't really maintain it any longer. And my parents would just are going to be rolling over in their graves that I'm actually selling it and it's not in the family anymore. So we put an offer in because my client loved it, and we didn't get it. We went in with another offer, and it was an offer that this lady just couldn't refuse anymore. And so we, a couple days later, we're there for an inspection, and we're talking with the lady, and my client was talking with her, and they found out her husband has the same last name, and so her kids were also there on the inspection, and it was the kid's great grandfather who built that house. It was the same family member.
Oh my gosh, that's a story.
And so I'm like, it's not leaving the family. Your parents aren't going to be mad at you anymore. Yeah. But it was just so bizarre because how we just zeroed in on that house.
That's
So,
great.
Now, here's a quick message from our sponsor. Discover Saratoga membership puts your business in front of thousands through online listings, social media, print guides, referrals, and signature events like Chowderfest and Restaurant Week. Plus, you'll get insider access to convention calendars, networking opportunities, and marketing support year-round. Join the 500 plus local businesses already growing with Discover Saratoga. Visit discoversaratoga.org/membership to sign up today. Joanne, looking ahead, is there something you're excited about in your career or the real estate market as we move into the new year?
We all yearly you come in and you kind of make your plan. So like the 2026, like right now, everyone that does business is looking and doing their 2026 plan. Every year is sort of a little bit exciting. You never know. And that's what I kind of love about this business too. Your phone could ring in 10 minutes and your entire real estate year can be changed for the good or the bad. Usually the good, but for the good or the bad. And there's always something, there's always
exciting.
somebody coming up. There's always somebody that you didn't know. And it's nice when you get like a really great referral, like, oh, you weren't expecting it, and then all of a sudden you get a call and you're like, well, this client said such great things and I want to work with you on selling ABC or buying
that's the
this.
best.
So that's kind of the
And another testament to how good you all are at your jobs.
yes, we all
If you could live in one type of Saratoga property, Victorian, modern farmhouse, downtown condo, lakeside retreat, what would it be and why?
Well, I just built my house downtown, so I built exactly what I was looking for. This lot had sat vacant since eternity. And there was only one small building in the back that sat right on the alley, and it's 80 feet wide and 120 feet back. And since Saratoga's been here, there's not been a home there. And I bought it and built on it 3 years later.
Congratulations.
Thank
You
So
can stay.
I can stay.
Water's Edge. There's no other community like it in Saratoga Springs, and it overlooks the lake. And I think it's the amenities that gets me the most, because you have the lake and a beach and an indoor pool, an outdoor pool.
Shoot, that's over by your
They
Yeah.
upgraded
That's
where
all
I
those
live
with-
there.
I live right near there. I mean, there's a bunch.
You could
we
have
do
a
like that
boat
area.
on the dock. I would want a one-level townhouse that has a full 180-degree view of the lake. That would be my perfect.
If anyone hears
So-
this, please call Lisa.
If you want to sell and you've got that, give me a call.
For me, I've got a couple, properties, but ideal situation would be, I like that equestrian farmhouse lake kind of a vibe. I do like the history of Saratoga. The east side's great. I grew up in Lake George, so I do like being near water, and I like the area where all the old lake houses were on Crescent Ave, and in that area, very proximal. And I think it's like anything. 87's an artery. You want to be close to that. Everybody wants to be close to amenities. Even they want to be far away, they still want to be close to amenities.
Absolutely.
That's right.
What about you? What's your dream house?
Well, I grew up on the west side. That's why I was like, I'm a west side girl. I would love to take one of the old historic homes and just make it my own. So, not necessarily North Broadway. I don't need a 7,000 square foot house, but one of those sort of eclectic homes, on the Ludlow, on Fifth, on Caroline Street, and just make it my own. Or I want like a hobby farm. I want my chickens, and I want to like right on that thing. So you go out towards like Brame Road, you go out Denton, right out there, like by where the Skidmore polo fields and everything are. I kind of go between the two of those.
Fifth Ave, we've got a few celebrities in the area. Dave Portnoy, he just built a house on Fifth Ave. Bobby Flay used to have a house on Fifth Ave. Have anyone worked with some celebrities?
Those are both my sales.
Get out! Was Dave good to work with?
Yeah, he came in and just bought the lot. He was one of those people that came in and bought location. So he tore down the whole house, as most of them do. We call that sort of the Saratoga waterfront. There are, I think, 35 houses that overlook the Oklahoma training track. Yep. And he took a cute little ranch, and it just obviously wasn't going to be enough room for what he needed. Took it down, and Bonaccio built him a gorgeous house.
That's amazing.
Yes, and Bobby bought and sold on Fifth Ave as well.
So that seems like the common theme, right? They're mostly ranches, and people are knocking down the ranches and building houses in those lots. Yeah.
My boys went to Caroline Street Elementary School. They're on now in a middle school, but what a special place,
So
they have the horses right there, and they see, and they love sports, so they see Dave, and he's giving a wave as they're doing things. So it's a really neat place. It's a great blend of a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Mackenzie, thank you so much for doing this
thank
you for
and for
coming.
showcasing Julie and Co. and just really how special Saratoga is. Thank you.
Thank you. I wish you guys the best of luck with all of your sales. Good luck planning for 2026. Who knows what's in store? Maybe one of you will help me find my dream home one day. And I'm so excited for you guys. You guys have such a great team. You have so much knowledge. Listening to you guys speak, you are clearly experts in all sorts of facets of real estate, commercial, residential, here in Saratoga County. Please reach out to Julie & Co. Realty for all of your real estate needs. You can visit them online. I'm sure all of your emails and phone numbers are listed. Thank you so, so much. Happy holidays. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap.
All right.
Please like, subscribe, rate, or review our show. Thank you.